Hey guys, and welcome back to Z3 Cubing. Today I'm going to solve this magnetic 7x7 without the core. So today I'm going to be trying out what I hope will be a fun, entertaining, and potentially pretty difficult challenge made possible by the new magnetic Hays 7M 7x7, which was sent to me by the Cubicle. I'll put a link down in the description down below as to where you can buy this puzzle. It has very good performance. It's arguably the best 7x7 on the market right now. The magnets just make the turning perfect, super controllable. I really like how it turns. Anyway, today I'm going to be taking this puzzle apart, taking out the core and all of the non-magnetic pieces, leaving only the magnetic edge and corner pieces, making a big void cube of a 7x7, and I'm going to be trying to solve that entirely. So let's just get the rest of the cube entirely disassembled, as you can see here. Alright, so now that the cube is fully disassembled, we will separate out just the magnetic pieces and assemble them together kind of like this, so kind of just get all the colors into the right spot like this. Alright, so here we go. Here is the finished assembled 7x7 without the core. As you can see, the actual core of the 7x7 is right here. And all the rest of these pieces here are all center pieces, which are of course non-magnetic. They don't need to be to magnetize the puzzle. So we can move all of this off to the side and just take a look at the puzzle we have remaining right here. So as you can see, there's like a lot of weird layers to it. It's kind of interesting how there's so many different ridges and like little layers of complexity down inside of the mechanism there. Compared to something like the V-Cube 7, this is way more complicated, but I guess that's why it turns so well as a 7x7. So let's go ahead and see if we can turn the puzzle. So let's just try and do one layer here, right on the very top. And it looks like it's not too difficult. We can kind of get everything to kind of slide along here. Doing the next layer down will probably be a little bit more difficult. And there we go, I got the move going, and there, it snapped into place. So it looks like this challenge will definitely be possible. First, we just have to, of course, scramble the cube up, and then we will go ahead and try and solve it. Alright, so I'd say that's scrambled just about sufficiently. I could have gone a little bit further, but man, I'm sure I can get a taste of just how hard it is to turn the sides on this cube. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the solve. Obviously, except for the turning, this puzzle is going to be a lot easier to solve than a normal 7x7 because there's no centers. So the first few steps of the 7x7 is of course just solving the centers. The next step is solving the edges, so we get to skip straight to that step. Luckily in Free Slice, most of the turns that you have to do are just turns of the outer layer, like this, which is actually the easiest turn to do on this puzzle because the magnets on the outer layers are significantly weaker than the inner layers, and that is by design because, of course, on a normal 7x7, you want to be able to turn the outer layers a lot easier than you want to turn the inner layers. You want those to kind of stay all as one when you're not messing with them. So it actually makes it pretty convenient for us. So what we're doing here is we're kind of lining up all of these white and green edge pieces onto the middle layer. But now one slice layer at a time, we can go ahead and pair up all of these edges that we just put into alignment together on that middle layer. So you can see here we have these three all lined up. Now we can line up the other ones. You can see we have these two that we have to get together. But as you can see here, getting these slice layers to turn is actually pretty difficult. But as you can see here, finishing off this last move here, we now have this full white and green edge piece all complete. So now what we can go ahead and do is find another set of pieces, like maybe these orange and blue ones that look like they're pretty nicely set up. Try not to break the cube and go ahead and repeat that process. It's kind of annoying when I'm doing double turns because I kind of have to like line everything up, get everything separated, do one turn, they all kind of snap back together, and I have to do the whole thing again for the other turn. So what I think I can do maybe is just kind of lift up the whole top layer and skip over that extra step and just go straight on right here. There's a much higher chance of everything falling apart, but as you can see, we just got our third edge, and we're making good progress. And there we go, there is edge number 4. So what I like to do at this point is kind of group all of the edges that I've already made together onto one layer. And so as you can see here, I'm just moving it up to here, and now I hold this on the bottom. So this way, when I'm making the next 4 pairs, all the pieces that I need will be on the top and middle layers. None of them will be on the bottom because that's where all of the already made pairs are. So all I have to do is look on these 2 layers, and it's a lot easier to do look ahead, especially when you're speed solving. But I guess look ahead doesn't really matter too much during this challenge. Alright, and here we go. We are now down to our last 4 edges. So as you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So one way of doing these is you kind of just treat the inner 3 as a 5x5, and then you do those, you solve all those, and then you treat the outer 3 as 5x5. So that's what I'm going to do here. Alright, and here we go. So I got all the middle parts of the edges complete, as you can see here. This one does have parity, so I'll have to solve that later. Hopefully I don't get parity on the second half too, but I'm going to start that now. Alright, just finished pairing up all the outer pieces. All we have left now for edges is this one inner parity right here. So unfortunately that means we do have to do the edge parity algorithm, which is kind of obnoxious and really hard to do on a cube that I don't have good control over. So hopefully we don't mess up. Let's go ahead and just go for it though. Alright, so now finishing that up with just an R2 move, we have now successfully completed the parity algorithm on a 7x7 without a core. So we are now officially onto 3x3 stage, so we can go ahead and just solve it like a 3x3 without a core, which I've done many times before. There is of course void cube parity, which you can get occasionally, but it's just a 50% chance, and if we get it, then we have to deal with it. So it looks like we do indeed have the annoying void cube kind of parity where just two edges or two corners are swapped around. So luckily there is a pretty easy fix for that, and it just involves turning the middle layers a few times. Alright, and here we go, just finishing up our last little algorithm here. Just doing a U-perm to finish off PLL. And now we have finally finished solving the 7x7, the YuXin Hays 7M, without a core. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video entertaining. It was definitely a little bit more difficult and time consuming than I was first expecting it to be. But in the end, I think it's worth it. It was pretty cool to be able to solve an entire 7x7 without the core. And that is something that happened a lot during the solve. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time.